So in 2022, I was on what would become a 2-year sabbatical from teaching. And in about month 3 of the sabbatical, my friend Bill calls me up. He's like, hey, Emily, remember that pandemic project that we had that we never finished? And I was like, the one I'm avoiding? And he's like, yes, we need to finish it. And I said, sure. He's like, I'm in Panama though. And I was like, that's okay, I'm on sabbatical. So I fly down to Panama because I know if I go to Panama, I will finish the project. But the problem with Panama, or rather Bill, is that he is working. And he's working remote. And so I tell him, listen, while you're working remote, I'll just go explore Panama, and then in the evenings we'll write and finish the sitcom project. And so I fly down to Panama, I get there, he helps me rent like a monster electric bicycle to get around Panama. And then I have to figure out what to do while Bill is at work. And so with the power of the internet, I discovered that there is a bat cave about 7 kilometers away. And I think this is a really good deal because it's on land owned by the local church. And so they have a collection box up and it's only $1 to go to this bat cave. And I was like, that is a really, really good deal. And so I went to Starfish Beach first, and then I'm coming back and I stop at the bat cave and I put in my $1 and then I read the signs that said you should have proper footwear, which I don't. And it says you should have a headlamp. I have a phone flashlight, thank you. And you should have someone to go with. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna skip that part. So I get about 20 feet into the bat cave when I realize I'm not the kind of woman who wants to die in a bat cave. So I turn very quickly around because also winged creatures are coming out of this bat cave. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be the one to die in a bat cave because I went somewhere by myself alone. That's dumb. So I go back to the house and I was like, Bill, I found this amazing bat cave for only $1 American. And you don't have to work tomorrow, and I think we should go. And he's like, that's amazing, we should definitely go. I was like, okay, we need proper foot gear, we need a headlamp. And my dad is a headlamp guy, like he's a flashlight guy. You might have a dad that's a flashlight guy. My dad has every kind of flashlight for every kind of thing, and he had gifted me a headlamp, which I only used to take out the garbage when I forgot about it. And so, but I had packed it for this sabbatical because my dad was like, you'll never know when you need a flashlight. And I was like, okay, Dad. And Bill was like, oh my gosh, I just bought a headlamp. And I was like, you're a flashlight guy. And he's like, it has like 50,000 lumens. I was like, I don't know what that is. I assume it's a lot. So we biked to the bat cave. I put in $1 for Bill because I haven't technically used my $1 yet. I only went in 20 feet. So we start walking up the stream that is coming out of the bat cave. And as we're walking, I remember they had said there might be caimans in the water, which are like small little alligators. And so I was like, I don't want my feet to be bitten by little tiny alligators. So I decided to climb up on kind of the bank, and Bill follows me. And then we're sliding around in this like muck. And Bill's like, I don't even know what this is. And I go, Bill, this is a bat cave. I'm pretty sure this is guano. And he's like, I didn't want to think about that, Emily. It's like, then why did you ask? But he's like, we keep going. It's not very fun. And he's like, Emily, I think we should turn around. I said, Bill, this bat cave cost $1. We need to stay in here for at least 20 minutes to make it worth it. I don't know why I thought 5 cents a minute was worth it, but I did. I used to be a math teacher, so I was like, that's the premium. And so then Bill looks up and he sees all the bats. And because he has a 50,000 lumen headlamp, all the bats see him. And they start hissing. And he is so excited. He's like, I'm gonna take footage of this and send it to my brothers. And I'm like, if we live, because this is what I know about bats. There's vampires. I saw the documentary about Twilight, and I'm pretty sure it's not real, but I don't want to push it. Also, why is it called Bat Cave when there's so many bats? Like, I used to be a math teacher. I can count to 20. There are way more than 20 bats up there, and they're hissing at us. Meanwhile, he's just taking photos and video. However, I see that there is a back entrance to this cave. another thing to know, I'm 6 feet tall, Bill is not as tall as I am, and I think if the bats come for us, they're gonna come for me first because my head is closer to them. So I duck and cover, and I chant to myself, I'm not the kind of woman who dies in a bat cave, and I scurry out the back. Meanwhile, he's just like lollygagging, enjoying this experience, taking footage. We emerge out the back of the bat cave, and he is like, that was so exciting, and I'm covered in anxiety sweat at this point. And I was like, we were in there for 18 minutes. It was worth it. That was thrilling, except I got my money's worth. That was what counted. But that was the start of my sabbatical. And I did not realize that when you go to a foreign country and you take tours, they want to take you to like all the great geological stuff. And I discover I don't like caves, which is intriguing because my last name is Pitts. And so my ancestors historically have lived near caves that just go down into the ground. But I'm going to just caves that go like sideways into the ground. And I really don't like it. I went into a cave in Petra and I thought, I'm gonna pee my pants if anything jumps out at me. And I walked right back around and left. In northern Macedonia, I ended up on a tour, and we're going on this river tour, and the guide cuts the motor. He's like, okay, everybody out, we're going to the cave. And I was like, I did not sign up for a cave. And then he flips on the generator and the cave is lit up. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then I'm worried, it's not like winged creatures in caves I don't like. I think I'm afraid of the dark. I think I'm in my mid-30s and just figuring out that I'm terrified of the dark. But this is the thing. I end up going to several more countries. I go to way more caves. I overcome my fear with capitalism every single time. If there is a cave that I paid money to see, I am staying in that cave until I get my money's worth. So far, I've been to about 8 caves. I've even snorkeled in a cave. I've kayaked in a cave, and I hated every single one of them. But I did it, and I made it worth it.